Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. No, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at, crossed in the last 3 years, are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute! Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and is seen walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue, President's reportedly asking his staff, whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, J.B. Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And
Raskin.
that's what's so shocking
Did he get a
about
pardon
this.
also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that
the
committee?
seeking of pardons is
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Have stay is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. Bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
The show every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about and even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I dropped them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I dropped them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Hooty hoo, MFers. What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where I just finished a cookie. I'm choking on it. It's terrible. So I made some chocolate chip cookies last night, and I tried something new. I took some, instead of butter, I usually make it with butter. I made them using cream cheese. I softened cream cheese instead. Just, it was an experiment, right? Just an experiment. And I was like, oh, it turned out pretty good, actually. They're not bad, although they're really moist and they're not crispy. And but I'm going to take them to work because I can't eat these cookies, and Lady Boomer doesn't want to eat them. She thought she loved them. I thought she was out there great. She's like, get those out of my house right now, because I will eat all of them if they're still here when I get home. And I'm kind of the same, so I'm going to take them to work and give them away because they're delicious and other people like them too. Anyway, that's enough about my baking quandary. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you all had a great weekend. We got some news, some thing going on. I saw about Le Pen. I saw all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna get into a bunch of it. And but first, hi to everybody. First the chat today, of course, Mr. Avocados Diablo, who even beat me in the chat today, gets the. I'm giving you 2 bells for that and a horn for that one. Well done, sir. Also, good morning, Amazing Disgrace is in the house, and Resolute Germ. What's up, Kara Soldier Tire, Alexander the Scourge. Also, good morning, Renee Mayette. Hi, yo. My other favorite Canadian Unacceptable Views is here. Attack Alpaca. Who's there? Oh, Play Trucker Zach. What up, Zach Osborne? Now I must argue with these Save Democracy people about how Marine Le Pen's conviction was a complete judicial witch hunt. I'm curious. I haven't followed the details, but I'm trying to talk about it this morning. Good morning, JB. Also, and my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Ponies in the house. Also, Lord Stanhope. Good morning, Puffer P Smiles. I always get that wrong. How you doing? Johnny Wimbertech is doing the work. My on the honorable list of favorite Canadians, Special Can, Acid, and Tribute Liberty. Good morning, my brother. How you doing? All right, let's get into a little bit of news because I'm a little late and no need to dilly-dally. By the way, hit the like button. Share the stream if you haven't done the requisite sharing of the stream, or just at least saying, let's go to the stream thing there. I would appreciate if you do that now and tell your friends that we're here live. Okay, just let them know. Damn it. In fact, people who have already done so, the people who have obliged me for whatever reason they do, have already done that. So, like, for example, JB with a let's go. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, a little problem with the gun there. Also, thank you, JB, Reaccion Puerto Rico. Somnambule Nation, Amazing Disgrace, and Resolute Germ for all retweeting my tweet of the show. Good morning, K Show. What up, Kirsten? How you doing? And Resolute Germ with the daily wrestler pick. I don't know who that is, though. I recognize that particular wrestler, but I'm not 100% sure the name of that particular wrestler. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Somnambule Nation with a come get some. Come get some, yeah. And Amazing Disgrace with a Simpson. Lots of people on. Simpson and Pitchfork, or what do you call it? Torches. They're gonna go get somebody. And of course, Somnambule Nation tweeted out the show before I did. Oh, and also, what? Last night in a joint military operation with our allies from the United States, we transferred 17 extremely dangerous criminals linked to Tren de Aragua and MS-13 all into, oh my goodness, I'm going to put this in a separate link. This happened last night. It's 52 minutes ago. Here, let's do this as a separate link. Where am I going to put it? I'll put it, why do I have that? Oh, I see why I have that twice, because I didn't, okay, let's put it right. I'll put it in the links today, but it'll be over here somewhere. I'll put it right there. There we go. All right, this will be in the links. Thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, for dropping this in the, tagging me on this. Last night, in a joint military operation with our allies from the United States, we transferred 17 extremely dangerous criminals linked to Tren de Aragua and MS-13. All individuals are confirmed murderers and high-profile offenders, including 6 child, violated them in a bad way. FTG to those motherfuckers. This operation is another step in the fight against terrorism and organized crime. So, and this is, who put this out? Nayib Bukele, isn't he is that the president of El Salvador? Something like that. Anyway, they're going to get their head shaves and going to be in that prison that's really nasty and whatnot. So there you go. And these are all confirmed. I know I've been hearing lots of reports that some of the people who've been sent to this prison in El Salvador, they say they may not be terrorists, but we don't know that they went there. We'll find out. Look, the one thing that they got to be careful about, is that they don't send innocent people away. Now, when I say innocent, I mean people they could be transferring somewhere else, but are not necessarily those gang members. And that's what everyone's chirping about. They're saying, "Oh, this guy was just a guy with a tattoo of his mom and all this and whatnot." They just got to make sure that they're doing it right. But raise your hand if you have a problem with them sending the ones that Venezuela won't take back to El Salvador. I have reservations about it, but in some ways, if Venezuela's not going to take the criminals back, we don't fucking want them here. Did I just swear? I did, didn't I swear? I swore. And we got to figure out a way to get rid of them. And Bukele says, "Come on down. You're the next contestant on. Get your ass whipped in this prison, and you're gonna live like a prisoner as opposed to a country club." So, I have some mixed feelings about it, but not completely. So anyway, there's that. And thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, for dropping that in the wherever they found that. Today, special day. I know everyone's going to be excited about this one. I know I am. I'm not going to be mean about it, I guess. I don't want to be mean about it, but the international holiday today is one of the, what is it? How many do we figure out there were I think there were 32 separate special days, weeks, or months dedicated to LGBTQI plus LMNOP 3.14 to infinity peoples. Well, today is Trans Day of Visibility, International Trans Day of Visibility. And, again, I'm trying not to be mean, but do we need another one of these days? Like, we've got all kinds of these days everywhere, all kinds. And do we need every variation? But again, here's the thing though. Some of the the LGB portion of the world would like to separate themselves from the T's and the QI pluses and LMNOP 3.14 to the infinity count. So if they have their one special day, I've seen enough, to be honest with you, but if they want to be visible, great. Here's who's this? This is that India Willoughby, this male human trans identifying person. Let's see what India Willoughby's message is on the Trans Day of Visibility. Just to be polite, I'll put the message here. Let's hear it.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, India.
Happy Trans Day.
Oh, yes. I'm excited.
It should be Trans Day of Invisibility.
Yeah. Look, that's a good point India made there. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't care if you have a mental illness, but don't force me to, don't force me to this time during your pronouns or whatever in public, because I don't care. And first of all, unless I'm talking about you, not to you. And Mr. Willoughby here is right. Look, if you pass and I don't notice you, great. It doesn't matter because I'm not looking for you anyway. But anyway, let's see what India says.
Given that we're talked about, but we are never actually seen or heard. Certainly in the
you won't shut the fuck up. We hear and see you all the time, and maybe that's the problem.
As far as the media is concerned.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately,
the media loves you, assholes. Hello, Wu, my friend. Now What Studios, my dear friend from high school.
They're going to be the case for the foreseeable because we're living in a time where, for whatever reason, we've been deemed to be the minority that you can trash, stamp on, do whatever you like. And then
because you feel like you are owed something, and we don't owe you anything. See, the other minorities, like myself, or even, I would even say religious minorities, but physiological minorities, their minority status is usually immutable, although obviously people from religions can convert or whatever. But this is what has been deemed I hate to say mental illness, but it is, and it's a mental variation in which you make choices to not accept yourself for what you are. So I don't, whatever. And also the demands you make on trying to force other people to feel what you feel, because if gender is just a social construct, it's just a feeling, it's just a thought, it's just I don't have to think what you think. I don't have to believe what you believe, because to me, I have eyes and ears and can tell. I have my own truths, and also I have my own dialect of the language that I speak. In the dialect of the language I speak use terms in a certain way. And so for you to demand me to speak outside of my dialect is pretty self-centered, narcissistic, and dare I say, bullshit. So there you go.
There will be zero repercussions.
Oh, no.
Disgracefully, the Labour Party, they're doing absolutely
this person's
nothing.
From across the pond,
Stab us
obviously.
In the back. Dreadful, awful people. But
so no, everybody's awful, because reality is a bitch.
Nonetheless,
hello, Mrs. Wildwolf.
We're still here, and I think the thing about trans.
It's okay that you're still here. And the other thing is too. Look, honestly, be what you want to be and leave me alone. Just like I will leave, I'll be what I want to be, and you can leave me alone. Don't try to force me to do what you want. Look, and leave the fucking kids alone. Kids can't make life-altering decisions at a young age. Really, anyone who thinks they're trans should wait till after they're in their mid-20s, when your brain's fully developed, because you may have to change your mind, and lots of people do. Lots of people are just doing it because it's a thing to do these days. And a lot of people are going to be regretting it. We're going to have one of the most major mental health crises in the West. I'm saying the next 5 to 10 years, because of this social contagion among young people who watch too much fucking TikTok. Just saying. Okay, let's finish up, India.
we're incredibly strong. We have to put up with so much shit at the moment.
Because of the
All
choices you
lies.
make.
It's all manufactured.
Because of the choice.
Tosh. From right-wing think.
Everything you do is manufactured, India. I'm sorry that you don't accept the fact that you're a male adult human. And honestly, you can live your life, but I don't, again, you want to force us to live your life. And I don't need to live your life. I don't even have to deal with you. If I run across you in the street, I'm not even going to look twice at you. If you just leave me alone and shut the fuck up.
Tanks, Tufton Street, J.K. Rowling, obviously.
Yeah, you know, by the way, the people who were born human female have a right to their own spaces too. And maybe, you know what, create spaces for yourself if you want to, but you don't have a right to be in someone else's spaces. Sorry, India. And probably, you know, I honestly, India, you probably pass well enough that no one's going to look twice at you. But unfortunately, there's some big old hairy men that just doesn't work for. You know, as long as you mind your own business, most people mind their own business too. Hello, number one, Midnight in Exile, and Reaction Puerto Rico.
Idiotic, thick, ignorant bigots.
Bigots.
But we're still here and will always be here.
Great.
So,
be there. Nobody cares.
Trans people in the UK, I think that's the same size as the UK Jewish population. Have a great
hold on. That's just an X'd out. Okay, so anyway, there you go. There's a message for Trans Day visibility. Oh my God, transgender is a mental illness. Yeah, a lot of people on those. You know, it's funny. And again, they've highlighted all these trans people who've recently done shootings and whatnot. And it's not just the trans people. Let's just clarify that. What we know, especially school shootings, every single one of them. I didn't know this statistic until recently that someone brought it up. Almost all of them are on some kind of mood altering drug. You know, they're on some kind of medication for various maladies like ADHD and other, you know, like depression medicines. And one of the side effects of those, some of the depression medicines and some are violent mood swings, even though it's an antidepressant medicine. So, and I'm sure that many of the trans people who go through this, whatever you call it, this process, also end up on some of those medications. And so that's why you're seeing another kind of a rash of the trans shooter type things, which is included in those mental illnesses. So maybe we need to start looking at some of the medications we give to people too. So anyway, let's move on. Thank you, by the way, Hermit Tire Alexander dropping a small bowl at the tip jar, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Tyre says today is the 99th day of shutting the fuck up about your sexuality. It's one of the holy days of the ancient secret society of Hermetic observers of the logical enigma. On this day, we hermits gather to think on logical enigma and our place in it. Well, thank you, Tyre Alexander. Greatly appreciated. Oh, and by the way, it does say Hermit Tire, not just Tyre Alexander, but Hermit's Tire. Let me get it straight. All right. Also today is the birthday of one of the greatest actors in modern history. Yes, Mr. Christopher Walken. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to Christopher Walken. You know, I wish I could do a good Christopher Walken imitation, but I can't. but a fabulous actor. He's a funny dude, and he's kind of turned into a character of his own. So happy birthday, Christopher Walken. Speaking of birthdays, let's see. It's birthday week. If you didn't notice, it's birthday week. If you don't know what that means, look at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Yeah, my birthday's Friday, so we'll do a birthday show. I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the birthday show. I haven't even thought about it too much. But anyway, happy birthday, Christopher Walken. As far as by the way, we have 23 people here or 34 people here, 35 and only 16 likes. What the hell? Let's fix that now. Let's move on. Also, the Final Four has been set. And for the first time in a long time, all 4 teams in the Final Four of the NCAA men's tournament are the number 1 seeds of all the region. And as of as Final 16, the ESPN had 0 perfect brackets. 0 perfect brackets this year. And also same with CBS. The CBS had 0 perfect brackets. So there you go. Tyre, I didn't even catch that. Okay, Tyre says the Ancient Secret Society of Hermetic Observers of the local Enigma is ASSHOLE, asshole. Okay, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. The Ancient Secret Society of Hermetic Observers of the logical Enigma, also known as asshole. I kind of blew up my speaker there, didn't I? Anyway, thank you, Tyre. Appreciate it. Wait, the Vols lost? Wait a minute. Who did the Vols volunteer? Oh, they lost to, were they top seed? Anyway. Well, real quick. Okay, we have a tip war going. Thank you, Avocados Diabli, dropping $2.31 in the tip jar. And now you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Who says, don't forget, Christopher Walken managed to kill Natalie Wood and convince the world Robert Wagner did it. Say what? Wait a minute. Christopher Walken was on the boat too? Wait a minute. Okay, let's look this up. Natalie Wood's sister says Christopher Walken spoke to detectives. She was in her... Oh, he was on the boat too? I didn't know that. Why would he kill Natalie Wood? Why would he? What? No, why? Why was Chris? Oh, this is on Quora. Why was Christopher Walken not arrested for Natalie Wood's drowning? Why would he have been? Okay, I didn't know that that was part of the rumor. I had no idea. You know, and that now I can't tell the joke I can tell about that that we used to tell in the 70s. Name a wood that can't float. Natalie. That's a terrible joke. That's awful. Never tell that joke ever again. All right, so anyway, the Final Four is set. I can't remember who's in it. Duke, Auburn, and Florida and Houston. Duke, Auburn, Florida, Houston. All the number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four. That's the first time for a very long time that's ever happened. Percentage of the teams in the tournament who made the Final Four: ACC 25%, SEC 14%, Big 12 14%, and the others nobody from the Big 10 or the Big East or the Mountain West or any other conferences. Atlantic 10. They're all and then the women's Finals Four. Well, I don't know. Who cares? All right, moving on. Let's see. Okay, this is the link that I do have the link to Nayib Bukele's post that Reaction Puerto Rico dropped in there. So that'll be in the links today. What's next? Oh, here we go. Wisconsin's trending. So there's a big election in Wisconsin tomorrow. You had a big crush on Natalie Wood. Natalie Wood is a fine individual. Of course you had a crush on her. She was cute as hell. Wasn't she in She was in West Side Story, right? She wasn't Maria, was she? Natalie Wood. She was Maria in West Side Story, right? I think so. Yeah, Natalie Wood she was Maria. Nobody. Oh no! I almost started singing a song from Sound of Music. I was thinking, Maria, I just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name would never mean the same to me. Maria, I just kissed a girl named Maria. I won't sing the rest of it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Wisconsin is trending. Wait a minute. Midnight Nexel, I don't know who is in West Side Story because I'm not gay. Hang on a second. Hang on. I gotta find something now, because I need to know who this quote is from. I'm quoting somebody, but I don't know who. Before I say it, I need to know who the quote is. Okay. Okay. In the immortal words of Angie Tempura, a famous character from Saturday Night Live, bitch, please. So anyway, the reason I know about West Side Story is because when I was in 9th grade, I was in a production of West Side Story. I was one of the Jets. My character only had 2 lines. The character's name was Big Deal, and I lost one of my lines because I didn't get the joke when it was a joke. It was like, so at the dance thing, they have the dance, and the Jets and Sharks all show up at the dance, and the guy, the MC guy says, "Okay, everybody, girls on the left and boys on the right," and the joke is, "Where are you?" Because the girls left and right. But I didn't get the jokes. When I was reading the lines, I just couldn't figure out the joke. I'm like, where are you? What is it? That doesn't even make sense to me, because it was a joke about him being kind of gay. And so I lost the line because I couldn't say it right. And then finally, the next person they gave the line to said, "Well, where are you?" And the girls and boys on the left, girls on the right, "Where are you?" And I was like, oh, now I get the fucking joke. Can I have my line back? But the director wouldn't give me my line back, so fuck it. Yes, I am. Okay, I was a little gay in high school. Well, I wasn't gay. I was in 4 sports, but I also was in theater, and I sang, and I did all kinds of shit in high school because I was a Renaissance man in high school, and so I did a lot of stuff. So there you go. All right, moving on. Wisconsin. Let's talk about Wisconsin. There's a big election in Wisconsin, the Supreme Court. And for some reason, everyone is invested in this. Apparently, they think that if a certain person, so the Wisconsin Supreme Court right now is a 4-3 kind of liberal to conservative majority, right? But this election of one of the liberal positions could change that the other way around. Also, Wisconsin is in the process of redistricting. So there's a whole bunch of people really invested in this Wisconsin Supreme Court election. I'm like, it's crazy. Like, here's Amy Klobuchar. We have a message from Eau Claire, Wisconsin to Elon Musk. Wisconsin is not for sale. Elects Judge Susan Crawford to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. First of all, I hate that fact that there's states where you elect your judges to the Supreme Court and that becomes a political thing, But but here is, if you think the Wisconsin Supreme Court race doesn't affect you just because you don't live there, think again. If Musk pulls this off, it's one step closer to him buying an election near you. God, friends, family, even followers of Wisconsin, tell them to get out and vote for the Susan Crawford. And then Elon Musk is getting in this race. And what would happen, see, if they redistrict in Wisconsin, they're going to gerrymander out a couple of Republican seats if they can. And if they don't, then the Wisconsin Supreme Court won't do shit about it. But the thing is, maybe the who knows? United States Supreme Court might do something about it, but it won't be before the 2026 election. So everyone's invested in this. So there's story after story. Now, so here's a couple of stories. One in the In the Federalist, sources say Milwaukee officials are handling ballots in a secret back rooms with no observer access. So in Milwaukee, the election officials are hiding their counting of the votes. The election director of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is apparently playing sheriff. Meanwhile, workers allegedly have been handling ballots in secret rooms. Inadmissible to observers for weeks. City workers are allegedly using secret offices off limits to observers to handle ballots for the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Multiple sources told the Federalist. Milwaukee elections director Paulina Gutierrez also allegedly claimed, quote, police powers, end quote, to remove observers in a March 19th meeting at Milwaukee Central Count. So they're not allowing observers. They're counting ballots in back rooms. So we don't know if, now we can assume there might be shenanigans going on, or we can just say, oh no, this is going to be the most pristine, fair, and whatever free election in the history of Wisconsin Supreme Court elections. We don't know. But also, good morning, Random American, by the way. Also, in the Federalist, leftist Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate endorsed by radical Tesla protest group. Now, we're going to talk about the Tesla protest sometime today. Hopefully, if I get through this fast enough. But Trump hating indivisible is one of Crawford's most gushing endorsers and one of the left's most hostile Tesla Musk protesters. It's nice to have a friend, and Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Susan Crawford sure has a lot of radical friends. One pal in particular is drawing scrutiny for its radical tactics at Tesla dealerships. Trump-hating group Indivisible is one of Crawford's most gushing endorsers, labeling the Dane County leftist judge the right choice for Wisconsin. That's a ironic thing to say. Although it's curious that Crawford's campaign website doesn't list the national far-left activists on its endorsement page, which includes who's who of left-wing organizations, from big labor groups to Planned Parenthood. Now, here's what I don't get. If you're running for the Supreme Court of any state, shouldn't you be touting your fealty to the law and not to the leftist groups that are endorsing you? That's just weird to me. You shouldn't have to do that. Just give you a reminder, Wisconsin also had the fortification of hockey. Yeah, they did. So anyway, for whatever reason, Elon Musk is putting some money into that race too. In fact, he says an investigation found 5 Act Blue funded groups responsible for Tesla protests, Troublemakers Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democratic Socialists for America. And then George Soros has his money flown into this thing too, through his various, let's just say, shell organizations. So anyway, and then here, Democrats' last rhetoric attack on Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Brad Schimmel is an FU. Wisconsin's pivotal Supreme Court race is at its home stretch. With the April 1st election date rapidly approaching, conservative candidate Brad Schimmel has been hot on the campaign trail. The weekend before the election, he is set to make stops across the state, encouraging conservative voters to show up like they did for President Trump in November. Schimmel has found support from a variety of national political rock stars, including Trump himself and Elon Musk. Projections show this race will end up costing at least $100 million for a fucking Supreme Court race that should be completely nonpartisan and only about the law. And it just tells you how, look, some of these state Supreme Courts don't give a shit about the law for real. They are literally they're literally political animals. So it's fascinating. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the election. A lot of early ballots have already come in. I will check my DMs and stuff. A couple people said that. Thank you. But here, and even Hakeem Jeffries is getting into it. Leftist Hakeem Jeffries calls Susan Crawford a strong Democratic candidate, and he funds her campaign to retake the House for Democrats. Because now it's interesting because, oh no, that's for, I'm sorry, that's in, yeah, so isn't that wild that the leader of the Democratic Party is saying that electing a Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin would help the House be retaken by the Democrats? That's crazy, isn't it? That shouldn't even make sense to anybody. Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries recently admitted that he sees the Wisconsin Supreme Court race as a way to undo the Republican majority in Congress, pumping $18,000 into Crawford's campaign. Well, there's $100 million in this campaign right now to help see his plans come through. We have now again turnip. Hakeem Jeffries has the charisma of a turnip. We have a strong Democratic candidate. Whoever wins is going to determine who has the majority in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. He added that it's important to have an enlightened Supreme Court in Wisconsin because Democrats need to revisit congressional maps as soon as possible to eliminate some of the Republican-controlled seats. So this is, I mean, it's nuts. They're all into it. There's article after article why George Soros and Democrats have gone all in on this week's Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Here, let me check this real quick because I don't want to feel like I'm neglecting the DMs here. Okay, what the hell? Oh, here we go. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf. Musk voter payment lawsuit. Appeals court won't block. Is this oh shoot, it's not, there's no link, Ms. Wildwolf. Wisconsin judge won't stop Musk 1 million payments to voters. Oh yeah, I think I have that here. Hang on a sec. Oh, here it is. Well, here's the New York Post version of that. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf. There's 3 for me on it. Yeah, but there's no links. So anyway, so apparently Elon Musk even got here, handing out $1 million checks to voters after Wisconsin Supreme Court declined to intervene. So Elon Musk handed out $1 million check to 2 Wisconsin voters he deemed spokespeople for his cause after the state's highest court refused to hear a lawsuit from the state attorney general over the cash giveaways ahead of a consequential court election in a battleground state. The coveted checks went to 2 Wisconsin residents who have both voted for and donated to GOP campaigns and have lengthy history of support for President Trump. Musk said that only spokesmen for an online petition against activist judges would be eligible for the $1 million handouts. Musk donned a cheese hat and used his time in Wisconsin to rally for Brad Schimmel, a conservative politician running for a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. Now, somewhere, so... And then Wisconsin is a highly contested battleground state, and liberal critics warn that Musk is backing Schimmel so that he can influence the court. Many on the left are concerned about the state's forthcoming redistricting, which could impact who has control over the House, which is currently held by a slim Republican majority. But Musk argued that Democrats would gerrymander the new district lines and give control to the court. And that's what they want! That's why they're shilling for, what's her name? Whatever her name is. So anyway... That's why Wisconsin's like all the rage. And tomorrow, I'll tell you what, all the lefties will be talking about Wisconsin and all the people on the right will be talking about Wisconsin. Everybody will be caring about Wisconsin. My neighboring state. How far do I live in Wisconsin? Here. Siri, navigate to Hudson, Wisconsin. Oh, I see. You got a link now there, Ms. Wildwolf. Hey, let's try that. There we go. I'm going to push this right over. We'll go through Ms. Wildwolf's link. Yeah, I live 27 miles from Wisconsin. Well, maybe if I go through Hastings, I go with Prescott. I don't know if Prescott or Hudson's closer. Probably Hudson's closer. But yeah, I live very close to Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a place in my heart. Here's the article Ms. Wildwolf sent me. Musk voter payment lawsuit, Wisconsin appeals court won't block. So, a Wisconsin appellate court denied the state Democratic Attorney General's request to stop billionaire Elon Musk from handing over $1 million checks to 2 voters at a rally planned for Sunday, just 2 days before the closely contested Supreme Court election. The backstory: the denial Saturday by the Wisconsin Court of Appeals is the latest twist in Musk's deep involvement in the race, which has set a record for spending in a judicial election, and has become a litmus test for the opening months of Donald Trump's presidency. Trump and Musk are backing Waukesha County Judge Brad Schimmel in the race, while Democrats are behind Dane County Judge Susan Crawford. Musk and groups he funds have poured more than $20 million into the race, while Democratic mega donors, including George Soros, back Crawford. He who shall not be named. Ooh, damn. I might get struck down by Hillary's machine. Anyway, the race will determine ideological control of the court. Liberals currently hold a 4-3 majority, but a retirement this year puts the majority in play. The election concludes on Tuesday. So there you go. Musk is putting his money in there, and so is George Soros. It's the battle of the billionaires. Where is Bernie Sanders bitching about the billionaires putting money in Wisconsin? All right, next up is, speaking of elections, apparently Marine Le Pen apparently is barred from running for public office now. And she's saying, why are these, this is one of the daily crafts, why are these right-wing politicians seemingly so corrupt? So they've been playing lawfare all over Europe too, trying to destroy anyone who runs from the right populist realm. And Le Pen was looking favored to win the next election. So someone says Marine Le Pen's first conviction rules out future presidential candidacies. Donald Trump's various convictions, 881,776 COVID deaths, armed insurrection. No, armed insurrection. Where was this armed insurrection? Biatch. And theft of classified documents made him president. No. So anyway, French far-right leader, according to Popgrave, Marine Le Pen has been found guilty of embezzling European Union funds. Now, if you ask Mike Pence, who's, I don't know, what Mike Pence, did he used to be on, what did he used to be on? I'll put the AP article up here first. But he says, Marine Le Pen in France, Bolsonaro in Brazil, Imran Khan in Pakistan, Matteo Salvini in Italy, Donald Trump in America, Kalin Georgescu in Romania. The criminal prosecution of every populist challenger is a dagger in the heart of credibility of democracy. Yeah, it seems like the left loves them some fucking warfare. Lawfare, easy for me to say. Unreal. They took out the opposition. Marine Le Pen, who's currently leading the opinion polls for the 2027 election in France, has been sentenced to 4 years in prison and banned from running in the next election. So, AP article on that. Seeking office. Barred from seeking office for 5 years. A political earthquake. French court money convicted Marine Le Pen of embezzlement and barred her from seeking public office for 5 years, a hammer blow to the far-right leader's presidential hopes and an earthquake for French politics. Le Pen's lawyer said she would appeal the verdict, but she will remain ineligible while she does so, and so could be rolled out of the 2027 presidential race. So we'll see if that appeal goes through. She was also sentenced to 4 years imprisonment, with 2 to be served under house arrest and 2 suspended. The court ruling was a political as well as a judicial trembler in France, hobbling one of the leading contenders to succeed President Emmanuel Macron at the end of his second and final term. So broad were the political implications that even some of Le Pen's opponents reacted by saying that the Paris court had gone too far. But it's too early to say how it will affect voters. Potential elimination of Penn could fire up diehard supporters, just as U.S. President Donald Trump's legal problems motivated some of his. But it could also leave her on the sidelines, deflating what had been her upward trajectory. So again, it seems like it's not just in the United States where the left takes up some lawfare. We'll see what happens. I don't know the details of the case. I don't know if it's real or if it's just bullshit. Hello, Somnambule Nation. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if her appeal goes through or whatever. But it's just, what a coinkydink. In all these countries where they seem to be arresting the leaders of the, I guess, right-leaning populist movements. Just a coinkydink. I'm just saying. All right. And Macron is trending also because of it, which some people are saying Macron is a tyrant, whatever. Macron literally thinks he's Napoleon. He's kind of short like Napoleon. So anyway, and the Italian president's not a fan of Macron, they're saying here. So anyway, that's why he's trending, because the same reason. Moving on, and Romania is trending also for the same reason, because again, in Romania, they had an election and they voided the election because the wrong person won. So fascinating how this is just, they must have taken their cues from, no, they did it to Bolsonaro first, and then they did it to Trump. Well, they've been doing it to Trump since he got elected the first time. So now they're going after all these people legally, Le Pen looks like she smells like cigarettes and Hennessy. She does. I'm just, okay, that's, okay, you are spot on. But anyway, that's fascinating. All right, let's see. New Mexico, here's just some news items. The headquarters of the New Mexico Republican Party was targeted in a deliberate act of arson. Hello, Selected Boy. Yeah, boy. The headquarters for the Republican Party in New Mexico was targeted Sunday in what was being called a deliberate act of arson, leaving the entryway of the building destroyed. In a post on X, the Republican Party of New Mexico revealed the damage to the state's GOP headquarters in Albuquerque. I also included the words ICE equals KKK. That's original. Spray painted on a wall of the building. The attack was described as being fueled by hatred and intolerance. Yes, the party of tolerance might be the most hateful and intolerant of all. And then there's the post. Again, more Democrat violence. Oh, should I say left-wing violence? Should I say the party of tolerance is the most violent of all? Motherfuckers. Also, by the way, and then other news, the New York Times had an interesting editorial this weekend. The New York Times editorial board just discovered what conservatives have been saying for years. The Democratic Party is completely out of touch with everyday Americans in a stunning rebuke. Now, remember, the reason this is news to me is because it's the freaking New York Times that did this. In a stunning rebuke from a paper that typically carries water for the Democrats, the Times finally admitted the obvious. Democrats' obsession with identity politics and their scolding, censorious posture have driven voters straight into Republicans' arms. I mean, think about it. Tulsi Gabbard was a Bernie bro, and now she's in the Trump administration. That should have been the biggest one. I mean, sure, Joe Rogan, he's kind of wishy-washy, and Elon Musk was, very leftist until, all this other shit. And this is from the New York Times again. The New York freaking Times. In the aftermath of this comprehensive defeat, many party leaders have decided that they do not need to make significant changes to their policies or their message, the editorial board writes. They have instead settled on a convenient explanation of their plight. They say that Trump cheated. They then point out that Democrats are in denial about their electoral struggles, clinging to the idea that they are merely victims of post-pandemic inflation and poor messaging rather than deeper political failures. The party leaders insist their policies are popular, but that voter apathy rather than a genuine shift toward Trump led to their losses. DNC Chairman Ken Martin claims that Democrats simply need to connect to their message better, while Minnesota Governor Tim Walz dismisses the idea of winning over Trump's voters, instead focusing on mobilizing those who stayed at home. As comforting as these explanations may feel to Democrats, they are a form of denial that will make it harder for the Democratic Party to win future elections, they warn. This was the New York Times saying this. Unbelievable. Hello, Judithine, by the way. Hi, everybody. Amazing how the best and most successful Republicans used to be Democrats. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's a little concerning for me who's been, contact. Who's been on the right for years. Fix itself. Okay, well, that's going to be a problem. Now I can't see. All right, anyway. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders and AOC are doubling down on socialism with their Fighting Oligarchy tour because nothing says we've learned our lesson like pushing failed far-left policies that voters already rejected. So anyway, you can read the rest of this article yourself, but it is amazing that the New York Times of all people, or peoples, because there's more than one of them in the editorial board, put that article out. Now, let's do a quick daily Krassenstein, but hang on a second. I got to, let me fix my contact real quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, it'll be quiet. Hang on. Okay, well, that's not good. It ripped right in half, so we'll just do it with one eye for the rest of the show. Whoa. Hey, that's kind of a pain in the butt, but I have to get the other half out. So anyway, hi, I'm back. Here, let's do the daily Krassenstein. Now, the reason I put this in the show today is I found this fascinating because the Krassensteins are the king of what's it known as? It's false equivalence fallacy, and also known as there's another name for it, but big time false equivalence all the time. And this post just annoyed me as soon as I saw it. So I said to myself, Self, what's wrong with this analogy that Brian Krassenstein? So today it's Brian Krassenstein, the uglier of the two twins, identical twins, Krassenstein. He wrote today, this morning, breaking the Table Rock. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's a Krassenstein. Hang on. Let me try this. Start again. Breaking. The Table Rock fire in South Carolina has now officially become the largest mountain fire in South Carolina history. Where is Donald Trump? Golfing for the 7th consecutive weekend. Remember what MAGA said about the California fires and Newsom and Biden? Where is your outrage here? Okay, now, maybe some of you who just heard me read that would almost automatically go, whoa, whoa, whoa. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. So first of all, the fire in South Carolina is still going, okay? And for it to be the largest in South Carolina history, I suppose you'd have to know what would the largest fire in South Carolina ever be? And then compare it to, because he compares it to both the California fires and the Maui fires. Now, did he take the Meyer? He didn't, let's see. Oh, in a subsequent state, okay? Now, first of all, I don't know that Donald Trump, while a fire is raging, would necessarily, I didn't realize Donald Trump was also a volunteer fireman. So why he's not there fighting the fire in South Carolina, I don't know. But let's take a look at the difference between some of these. I used Grok today to do this, and there's a fairly good summary here by Grok because I asked Grok this question. I raised a post by Brian Krassenstein on X, stated the following: breaking the Table Rock fire and so blah, blah, blah. We know what it says. And I said, so I asked, now, is this a fair comparison? How many people and homes are affected by the South Carolina Table Rock fires? How does it compare to both recent fires in Pacific Palisades and Malibu and the most recent fire in Maui as far as casualties, people displaced, homes lost, etc.? Is there a logical fallacy that can be found in Brian's logic comparing these events? And I'm just going to go through what Grok gave me. Okay, here it is. Now, to evaluate Brian Krassenstein's comparison to address your questions, I'll break down into two parts. One, addressing the fairness of the comparison. Two, providing available data on the Table Rock fire in South Carolina and comparing it to Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and the Maui fire. And three, identifying any logical fallacies of the argument. Since my knowledge is continuously updated, I'll use the most current information available as of March 31st, 2025. So as of this morning, to supplement it with context provided. Here we go. So the comparison, Krassenstein's post juxtaposes the Table Rock fire in South Carolina to the Pacific Palisades Malibu fires and inexplicably or implicitly the Maui fire to critique Donald Trump's response, drawing a parallel to how MAGA criticized California Governor Gavin Newsom and President Joe Biden during wildfires in their jurisdictions. Now, the fairness of this comparison hinges on several factors: the scale and impact of the fires, the responsibilities of the figures involved, and the context of their responses. Now, the scale and impact. Wildfires vary wildly in size, destruction, and human toll. A fire's designation as the largest area burned doesn't necessarily mean it has the greatest impact on human life or property. Comparing a mountain fire in a less densely populated area like Table Rock to urban and suburban wildfires like Pacific Palisades or Maui exaggerates the similarities of the human consequences, or if the human consequences significantly differ, which they do. Now, and as far as leadership, Trump, having won the 2024 election, was not in office yet during the obviously other fires, but you're expecting identical responses from a president-elect or as president over different events that have different circumstances. They don't say this, but I say it's stupid. And so the context, Krassenstein highlighting Trump golfing, implying neglect, but doesn't specify what Trump should be doing as president during the California Maui fires. MAGA criticism often focused on perceived delays or inadequate resource allocations by Newsom and Biden, who had active roles in disaster response, without evidence of what Trump could or should be doing, and comparing them together lacks equivalence. Now, data on fires, a comparison. Now, here's the part where I go, why are you comparing these fires? Since exact up-to-the-moment figures for Table Rock fire on March 31st aren't fully detailed in the provided context, I'll use the available information at reasonable inference based on trends and reports up to this date. For the Pacific Palisades and Maui fires, we can draw from detailed web results provided. Table Rock. This Krassenstein claims it's the largest mountain fire in South Carolina history, likely measured by acres burned. Historical data suggests South Carolina wildfires rarely exceed tens of thousands of acres due to the state's geography and vegetation. For context, the Pinnacle Mountain Fire in 2016, one of the state's largest recent wildfires, burned approximately 10,000 acres. If Table Rock surpasses this, it could be in the 10 to 20,000 acre range or more by March 31st. It's at 11,000 right now. Okay? Casualties. No specific deaths are reported in the current fires. Mountain fires in remote areas typically have low human casualties unless they encroach on populated zones. And right now, the firefighters and people controlling the fire have successfully diverted these fires away from any populated areas. Right now, not a single house is burnt yet. They came close, but did not. Whereas Malibu, well, we'll get to it. Casualties, no specific deaths are reported in the prompt or context. Mountain fires, okay, we already said that. People displaced. Evacuations depend on proximity to communities. Table Rock State Park and surrounding areas, Pickens County, are rural with sparse populations. That's probably why we're not hearing a whole lot about it either in the news. There's not hundreds of thousands of people being displaced or people entire town being burnt down. Homes lost. Expos indicate just underbrush burning with no reported home damage, suggesting zero or very few homes lost as of now, which that is correct. Now, comparing that to Pacific Palisades. The Palisades fire burned 23,707 acres, which is more than twice the record for South Carolina of acreage, just alone. And it was a massive urban adjacent wildfire driven by the Santa Ana winds. At least 12 deaths are confirmed, with later reports citing up to 25 across multiple LA fires. Over 100,000 people were displaced across LA County with the fires, with tens of thousands specifically from the Pacific Palisades and Malibu due to the destruction of entire fucking neighborhoods. Homes lost. 6,837 structures were destroyed in the Palisade fires, 0 in South Carolina. 5,300 homes and businesses damaged in Malibu, with a total of 9,000 structures across LA County fires. How about Maui? The Lahaina fire burned approximately 2,170 acres, which is a much smaller area. However, there were 101 deaths, making it the deadliest U.S. wildfire in over a century. Around 11,000 people were evacuated and displaced, many losing their homes in Lahaina. Over 2,200 structures were destroyed, mostly homes in compact and densely compact areas. So he's comparing apples to tuning forks here. The only thing that's the same is they make a sound when you drop them on the ground. So anyway, there's a complete comparison. So here, and as usual, the Krassenstein's favorite fallacies that they end up using when they make their stupid posts, false equivalence. He equates the Table Rock fire with the California Palisades fire and implicitly Maui fire, suggesting Trump's response should mirror Newsom's or Biden's. However, if Table Rock has negligible human impact, no deaths, few or no homes lost compared to the massive toll of the others, the situations are not equivalent. Criticizing Trump's golfing assumes a crisis of similar magnitude, which the data does not support. And straw man, the reference of what MAGA said about Newsom and Biden implies they demanded constant presence during the fires, then exaggerates this to an expectation Trump should meet the same, should be there constantly too, because he puts pre-inauguration. MAGA critics likely focus on policy failures, fire management, resource allocation, and not just physical absence, which Krassenstein simply simplifies to outrage over golfing. And hasty generalization. Without specifics on Table Rock's impact, claiming it's a historic crisis warranting outrage, jumps to conclusions if it's mostly underbrush with no significant human toll. The analogy to California and Maui is a major overreach. So there you go. So the comparison is not fair because of the stark differences between the impact of those fires. So I don't know if I leave this link up, if you'll be able to see it or not. I'm going to leave it there. But it's a typical Krassenstein argument where they end up comparing either apples to kumquats or sometimes apples to, combines and then try to think they're making a good logical point, which they almost never do. Screenshot it for posterity. There you go. All right. Now, the only other thing that I was supposed to talk about today was the Tesla protest this weekend. I had planned to go to one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and these Tesla takedown protests that they planned all over the country, whatever, this was supposed to be the big, we're going to have a big Tesla takedown. And so they had protests all over the country. But what was weird, in Minnesota, they did it at 3 Tesla dealers in the Twin Cities and then one out in, I think, St. Cloud or whatever. And running out of time for Monday TNA. What is Monday TNA? I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about? But what was weird is I didn't realize the Tesla takedown protests were all scheduled specifically for 1 hour. And now, I was doing yard work on Saturday, or excuse me, and so I didn't end up going, right? So, but apparently the people showed up, and then it's like at the second the hour is over, they all left. And this happened all over the country. And I'm like, what exactly did they accomplish by doing this? I'm curious. So I'm going to try to go out to a Tesla dealer later this week to see if anyone's just out there protesting, because I wanted to go interview people and I didn't end up not doing it. But so here is the on X. Here's some of the Tesla protests. And some of these people are like, some people on the left are really excited about them. Some people on the right are laughing about them. So here's one. Here it is. Tesla takedown protests went national on Sunday. People are done with Elon Musk and know this is the way to send a message he can't ignore. Take this energy to every election everywhere. So here's an example that this person came up with.
To Peabody. Organizers are protesting.
Now notice something right away as you look at this report, whatever this local channel is. Does this look like there's thousands of people out there protesting Tesla, or just the same, the same weirdos who go out and protest all the time? Look at it. I mean, this does not look like it's a huge protest.
Billionaire Elon Musk and what they're calling a, quote, Tesla takedown.
Okay. Now, notice again, and whenever the news wants to make it look bigger than it is, they'll do shots like this where they're driving by all the people, like this may be every person that was there. Now, in some places they were bigger, but anyway, we're just going to go through some of these.
Massachusetts are joining hundreds of demonstrations like this across the country.
There is a self-described king in the White House.
Self-described?
Who serves as a puppet.
Tesla takedown demonstrations took place across
look at how huge this is. There's just thousands. And now in New York City there were more because there's more people like that in New York City, whatever. But I don't see any of these.
Canada and Europe today.
I don't see any of these being
taking
huge.
place right here in Chicago.
Leading up to Northbrook's Tesla dealership. In Westmont, a similar scene.
Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey.
Hey, they all got
Another
the same
one at Tesla's
chance.
Rush Street storefront.
We're protesting Elon Musk's takeover.
I really wanted to go to these and ask people, what are you actually protesting? What is it about Elon Musk that you're actually protesting? I'm going to go to one of these days.
The federal government.
Some calling Tesla's swastikars.
I'm here to protest the executive branch that's dismantling
Oh, you mean the democratically elected executive branch?
all of our governmental systems.
The systems that are self-perpetuating and spend your money without any oversight?
The movement called the Tesla takedown also taking place on the East Coast in New York.
Okay.
In the United Kingdom. And in London, where activists are putting cutouts of Musk saluting on top of Tesla chargers. Many at these protests calling Musk a fascist, saying he should not have any power and to shut down the newly created Department of Governmental Efficiency.
Newly created? No. We've had this, just had some different names, but President Obama had one of these too, remember? But, you didn't get to hear about it as much.
And we should all be selling Teslas, not buying them, selling the stock.
The other part too, if you sell a Tesla, doesn't somebody else buy the Tesla? I mean, you bought a Tesla, you sell it. Who do you sell it to? Oh, somebody who buys it. I would say if you own a Tesla and you really want to protest, just burn your car. Just burn your car down. Nobody cares. Just burn your own car. You don't sell it. Come on. You want to really protest Elon Musk? Burn the car that you already bought.
Francisco in front of the Tesla dealership.
Look, now you would think San Francisco, these streets would be full. Where are all these people? Uh-oh. What the hell happened there? Oh, there we go. How'd that happen? Okay, just good to see what's going on there.
And Ness Avenue. It was one of several demonstrations in front of dealerships here in the Bay Area.
He wasn't elected. He was appointed.
The organizers of the rallies at more than 200
guess what?
Tesla locations.
You know what? He wasn't elected. He was appointed. You know who else was appointed? Every person who heads one of these agencies that just dole out money at will, every single one of them are appointed. Like, no shit, he was appointed. Yeah, a lot of people are appointed. He wasn't. If you elected everyone at all these agencies, that would take forever. So anyway, some of the lefties are really excited about these protests. Bill Madden, he's one of these, he's a dickhead. But anyway, take a look at this massive protest in San Francisco. Is done with the world's richest Nazi, Elon Musk, and his Tesla swastikars. Fuck Trump, fuck Musk, fuck fascism. Wait a minute. San Francisco? San Francisco. This is the biggest protest you could get in San Francisco? That's the most you could do in San Francisco? You know how many people in San Francisco own Teslas? Oh, it's massive. There's 2 million people there. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, I don't think they really understand that a lot of people support what they're doing. And in fact, let me just give you a little fact. I'm gonna skip by here, second here. What happened to it? Oh, that's about Signalgate. Thank you. Thank you, Avocado Stably, dropping a small in the tip jar. Avocado Stably says he wasn't appointed. Yeah, of the millions of federal workers, only 536 are elected. Are these people really that obtuse? Yeah, they're that stupid. They're that stupid. Thank you. So anyway, a lot of these posts here are from people who are laughing at the protests. The best one, though, was where. Let's see if I can find the. Let me see if I can find my favorite. Oh, here it is. Here's my favorite. And of course, you have a group of people doing the electric slide, just like they did at every protest. You got a little electric slide going on, so good for them. Anyway, so now here is an article in PJ Media. What if you threw an AstroTurf Tesla protest and only bad dancers came? Now, if you like pensioners with white hair holding a Nazi sign and demonstrating bad dancing skills, the so-called Tesla Takedown Global Day of Action protest were a smashing success in 200 locations around the country. The idea behind the takedown is to tank Elon Musk's company's stock because, as the flyers explain, he's destroying our democracy. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that whopper, I would buy a Tesla. I'm still not going to buy a Tesla. I don't need an electric vehicle, but you know what I'm saying. Musk's in trouble with the Democrats, left, and mediacrats because he's trying to trim trillions of dollars from the operational cost of government to get rid of the fraud and abuse. And this is destroying Democrats' democracy. In just a few weeks, this Department of Government Efficiency has found at least $130 billion in waste or fraud. And just this week, Doge found these savings. Here it is. Great work today by USDOL. Canceling $577 million in America Last grants for $237 million in savings, including $10 million for gender equity in the Mexican workplace. They were spending $10 million for gender equity in the Mexican workplaces. Why are we doing this? $12.2 million for worker empowerment in South America, $6.25 million for improving respect for workers, whatever. Here, I'll put the link here in the chat. What else did they have on here? Oh, here we go. $6.25 million for improving respect for workers' rights in agricultural supply chains in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. What? This is, you know what this is? They're bribing somebody and just calling it something else. This can't be real. $5 million for elevating women's participation in the workplace in West Africa. Do you know how big West Africa is? Where in West Africa? There's 17 countries in West Africa. You're giving this money to somebody and they're just stealing it. $4.3 million for assisting foreign migrant workers in Malaysia. What? $4.3 million for assisting foreign migrant workers in Malaysia. So, is that like illegal aliens in Malaysia? What the fuck? $3 million to enhance Social Security access and worker protections for internal migrant workers in Bangladesh. $3 million for safe and inclusive work environments in Lesotho. Where the fuck is Lesotho? God. Good God. It's waste. You know all that money's getting laundered to something else. Holy shit. So anyway, and then of course the dance line in Seattle. Good for them. So there's a bunch of other articles here I'm not getting to. Oh, by the way, some of the Democrats say we have a right to vandalize Teslas, and if you try to stop us, you're the fascist. The headline paraphrases somewhat the insane position of Congressman Dan Goldman, but so slightly that I think it can be forgiven. In a tweet posted earlier this week, Goldman's reaction to a new federal task force aimed at investigating and catching the terrorists who have been firebombing Tesla dealerships and vandalizing Tesla cars as follows, quote, "This is the political weaponization of the DOJ. Trump uses his official authority to defend his benefactor, Elon Musk. The FBI then creates a task force to use our law enforcement to crack down on adversaries of Musk. Where are the Republicans so opposed to lawfare?" Let's see. If you cause hundreds of thousands of dollars of property damage to other people's shit, maybe the law should come after you, asshole. Did I say it loud enough? Anyway, other articles. Someone says Trump. And by the way, it's not a boon to Elon Musk to have Donald Trump in the White House. Trump was right to kill the electric vehicle mandate. Scrapping the EPA's draconian tailpipe emission rule would boost competition, benefit consumers, and strengthen national security. So he's not a big EV fan, although he tried to sell some Teslas on the White House lawn when, whatever. But it's a 100% American-made car, so, But he killed the EV mandate, which would have been good for Tesla. If he was just doing shit for Elon Musk, he would have not done that. Thank you, Chicago Mike. A big $17 in the tip jar, and you are now the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Who says, I have a question about calling Musk a fascist. At what point do these people protest Volkswagen? These people aren't aware that Hitler was involved with Volkswagen. Exactly! In fact, that's why it was so funny when, what's the dummy who had the crocheted COVID mask? That stupid actress, which is kind of redundant, when she said she's selling her Tesla and buying a Volkswagen because she didn't want a company drive a car from someone who was a fascist. she went to the Volkswagen EV. Alyssa Milano, that moron. And she said, I'm going to buy a Volkswagen, which was a car that was... the advent of the Volkswagen was very highly facilitated by none other than the guy with the funny mustache. What a moron. So anyway, there's a couple other articles and the links, but I'm out of time, guys. But, not because I don't love you guys, but I do have to go. Do I have a Christopher Walken link? Okay, I do have a Christopher Walken link. We're good. All right, so I put the aggregator articles in today like I've been doing lately because it's easier than opening a bunch of articles. There's some really good articles in the Ace of Spades blog morning report today that I highly recommend. I don't have time to go through them though. So here we go. I'm going to put these links in the chat. Copy and paste. Here are the links. Here are the links. And that's it. I got to go. Hey, thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. See ya. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.